How's it going, Guardian? Shifty here, and in today's video I've got for you another Legend Lost Sector guide. This one is going to cover the Scavenger's Den in the EDZ. Now in this Lost Sector we're going to encounter Barrier and Overload champions, Solar Burn is turned on, and there are going to be Arc Shields. Alright, so in this one I'm going to be showing you two full runs. I'm going to show you a full run on my Warlock, and in this one I'm going to go a bit slower and explain things along the way. Then I'm going to show you a faster run on my Titan. Now let's get into my loadout for this Lost Sector. So in this one you can pretty much use whatever subclass that you want. I'm going to be going with the Arc subclass. If you're interested in what my fragments are, they are Spark of Resistance, Spark of Ions, Spark of Shock, and Spark of Magnitude. I'm not going to show the aspects because I'm trying to make this video as general as possible so you can play along on any class. As for my weapons in this run, I'm going to be going with Arbalest in the kinetic slot. This is going to be for barrier champions primarily. You could swap this out for Wishender if you really wanted to. In my energy slot, I'm going with a Strident Whistle Solar Bow. This is going to benefit from that Solar Burn, but I'm also using it for Overload champions. You could swap this out for pretty much any bow here as well. Now in my heavy slot, don't panic if you see that I'm using Cataclysmic here. I'm only using it to benefit from Solar Burn. If you don't raid and you don't have any linear fusion rifle like this, don't worry, you can pretty much swap this out for whatever linear fusion rifle you want and do just fine. For my armor mods, I'll just quickly show you each piece of armor so you can see what I'm using. If you need to see anything in more detail, just pause the video. I also want to mention that these armor mods are the same on both my Titan and my Warlock runs in this video. That's why I'm only going to be showing my Warlock loadout. Alright, and that is it for my loadout here. I'm going to start by showing you the slower Warlock run, and then after that, I'll have the faster Titan run. Both of them will have a little bit of live commentary along with them. Now, let's get into it. Alright, so in this Lost Sector, we're going to have just a few enemies right up front here. Mainly dregs. There is going to be an invisible marauder off to the right. Let's come up here and take care of that dreg. You're also going to have some snipers in the distance. The bow should easily be able to take care of those. You can see a bunch of enemies down low right there. I'm going to go ahead and take those out with a grenade. I'm actually going to hop up to the right hand side here. And we're going to take care of any of these enemies that come up here. In fact, a barrier champion might even be coming this way in just a moment. You can slowly rotate around here, and we can find that barrier champion first. Let's get it to shield. And once it shields, I'm going to go ahead and take it out. Then deal with the rest of the enemies around the area. You can see a few enemies spawned up top. Let's go ahead and start dealing with those. There is an Overload champion up there, as you heard. I'm not going to worry about that right now until I can get a better angle on it. I want to take care of all these enemies around the area first. Then I'm going to head up over here. You're going to want to try to avoid the Overload and then stun it, and then go ahead and take it out with your linear fusion rifle. So if you don't have a solar linear fusion rifle, that Overload champion is going to take a few more shots. Gonna have a few enemies to clear along the way here. Nothing too serious. And you can see there's enemies down below me. I'm gonna toss a grenade on those. Luckily, this solar bow does one-shot a lot of these enemies with crits. And as we approach up here, we should have one more champion. Let's stun that. Take that out. Again, if you're using a different linear fusion rifle, you might prefer to swap back to the bow after about 2 shots just to prevent healing. Let's destroy all these mines here. And I guess I'll die to that mine, that's fine. As long as we complete this and we get a platinum rating, we should still have the highest chance at an exotic. Alright, so here we are in the main room of this Lost Sector. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can toss a grenade up there. Looks like I got a few enemies in that. You can see we have an Overload champion here. There is a barrier champion on the way too. I took the Overload out right away. Now you might have to prioritize this barrier champion instead because it may shield that Overload champion. I'm going to blow that barrel up to try to help me out a little bit. Alright, let's rotate around this left-hand side. And you can see the boss right there. Let's deal with some of these other enemies first. And now let's go for the boss. So if you're on a Titan, at this point you could use Thunder Crash if you really wanted to. On a Hunter, you could use either of the new supers. And I could have used my super here on a Warlock, but I wanted to demonstrate that you can pretty easily take the boss out with Arbalest. And there we go. That was a platinum completion of the Scavenger's Den Legend Lost Sector on a Warlock. Alright, so for my previous run, I went a little bit slower. For this one, I'm going to try to go a bit faster just so you can see how you can speed the Lost Sector up a little bit. Alright, let's head down here. And I'm going to hop up here. Should have a bunch of enemies spawning. And this is a non-solar linear fusion rifle, and you can see it doesn't do quite as much damage, but it still gets the job done. Alright, now let's move on to the next area. We're going to have to destroy some mines coming up here soon. And I threw my Overload grenade on this champion. Barrier goes down, we can move on. Let's stand back here this time. Let's keep going. Alright, we're almost to the boss room. You can see a barrier champion coming down. You can see an Overload champion. Let's go for that barrier champion right away. Barrier champion is almost down. Barrier champion is officially down. And there's our Overload. Overload is down. Let's take care of some of these other enemies. Let's toss a grenade up there. Alright, let's finish those off. And I'm going to go ahead and Thunder Crash the boss. Now it's probably not going to kill it. As you can see, it definitely did not, but I'm going to go ahead and linear fusion rifle it. And the boss is dead. Cash code acquired. Let's take that sniper out. And let's head to the chest. Alright, and by no means was that a perfect run, but it was a little bit faster there than my Warlock run. And you can even speed it up a little bit quicker once you get better at running this Lost Sector. Alright, so I showed you a slower run on my Warlock. I showed you a faster run on my Titan. Either of these strategies can work on a Hunter as well. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, remember to like and subscribe. I just want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.